snowflake. I'm here at the crib, man, and I'm just finishing up stop in the home dogs, and I really think a lot of shit to go over tonight. A pretty wacky week. It was kind of rough, and we here to set that straight. Let's get some of that. Let's get some of that football money. Let's get some of that football money, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we've got a 10-game slate. If you had to give me an overview of the slate as a whole, what are you expecting? What do you look at? Like how are you viewing the slate? Give it to me. Like, what is your overall view of the slate? It was kind of rough.
Yeah. I'm looking at this slate. This looks like a slate of kind of extremes. You're either gonna get some offense in some spots, or you're not gonna get any at all. So that's how it's looking at for me this week. It's fairly easy for me to put together a cash lineup. Hopefully it all plays out like I think it will. Like I said, it's just going to be some spots where I think the game is just going to be like so low scoring where it's not even kind of worth getting any exposure to any of those players. And then sometimes in other games it'll be plenty of options. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Okay. Well, a lot's changed, man, since we first started this thing week one, man. We've got some notable injuries, tons of notable injuries. We've got guys suspended. You got the Zeke situation. Like so much going on in terms of what rosters look like. I'm talking about. You're looking at Green Bay, no Aaron Rodgers. Like this is a great spot, right? This time of year, you get Green Bay going to Chicago. This time of year, this is like what it's about, and this game is not important at all. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's going to be a low-scoring game, So.
So, and what we're here to do, man, is help you kind of wade through that water, man, and give you a kind of an overall look at a way to check out to look at the slate, what to guess, and I'm gonna be rocking out probably like my top 5 stacks that are gonna be based off of the quarterbacks that I like the most, and something that I like to use, man. This is RotoQL, very solid tool. This can give you a real head start in terms of your quarterback selection, because that's where I go to. Like that's so if I go here and I go to let's say we go to points allowed at the quarterback position, and you're seeing that the best spot for any quarterback on this slate is going to be C.J. Beathard, who is 4.8K and playing against my New York Football Giants in San Francisco. We've given up the most points to quarterbacks on average so far this season. And, you go and look how cheap the guys are at the top, because you've got Beathard here. You've got Eli Manning, who is playing against the 49ers. You've got Jared Goff against Houston. You've got all of the cheap dudes, man, like Ben Roethlisberger 6.6 against Indianapolis. All of the cheap guys are in the best matchups as far as the quarterback goes. And I think that's the way I'm going to approach this slate. What do you think about some quarterback plays? Just jumping out from the top, talking about some quarterback plays. Who are some quarterback plays that you've really been looking to so far?
Well, the ones I've been looking at, but like you said, a lot of these cheap quarterbacks that are kind of hard to trust are the ones that are in the best spots. People like McCown, who I've been seeing a lot of stuff about him. I don't completely trust him, but he's worth a GPP shot, for a tournament. But people like Osweiler is in a good spot. I couldn't even hit his name. I couldn't do it, so I can't do that one. I could do McCown, but not that one. But Stafford to me is my best quarterback this week. I hope that Detroit realizes they have to pass, because Cleveland does have a strong run defense. So I'm really hoping that Stafford actually comes through, and the coach actually realizes, hey, we got to pass to win this game. So because Abdullah's having problems fumbling the ball, the running game isn't really that strong. So hopefully they do the right thing and just decide to really go pass heavy in this game.
Right. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead. Without further ado, man, we're going to jump into the slate. We're gonna be well, me, I'm primarily a DraftKings player. The Iceman primarily is on FanDuel, so I'm gonna be coming at you from sort of a DraftKings perspective. But if I'm sure if the Iceman sees something in the way of some FanDuel news, he's got to give you. I'm sure he's gonna interrupt, chime in, and set everything straight. So the first game we've got is gonna be the New Orleans Saints going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. It's a 48-point total. We've got the Buffalo Bills, the home dog. There's a lot of fight in the home dog.
Yeah.
And you get Drew Brees in the elements, which I don't really love here. The Saints defense has been playing well. This game has a lot of topsy-turvy involved in it. What do you think about some plays from this game? Where are you looking? How you going to get it in?
Well, I'm seeing this game is kind of setting up to be a close game. New Orleans is on the road, so it's going to be a tough one for them. I mean, from a standpoint of Buffalo, I think they're really in a bad spot as far as if Taylor has to pass, because this right now is a bad matchup for him. I mean, McCoy has a real opportunity to do well here, and he should. Hopefully they realize they got to run the ball. But I mean, really, they really should not be passing much this game. I mean, because they're going to run into trouble if they do, and because the spots that New Orleans is most susceptible to, Buffalo doesn't take advantage of those, or they haven't so far this year at all. So that would seem to me that they won't be able to do it this game. So. But I'm looking at this game being a close one. I'm looking at people like Kamara again. It should have another. He's set up to have another good week. And then Buffalo. And I would be hesitant. I would not go with Tyrod Taylor at all personally. But O'Leary might get a touchdown look. He's been getting targeted. Okay in these past few weeks since Clay's went down. And some other seldom used wide receivers, and these are really long shots. People like Tate and Holmes, they might be able to expose a little bit what New Orleans is susceptible to. But New Orleans they're not in a great spot either. But I would still go with Kamara again.
Right, and we got a couple of notes from inside the YouTube stream. The chat is the homie says the Bills are pretty strong at home if the wind is up. They're going to be fading Breeze, and Ty God averages 2 touchdown passes per game at the crib. That's going to, make me take a look at him. What's the story with Kelvin Benjamin? Is he going to be playing? Is he not? Is he healthy? Like, what's going on with Kelvin Benjamin?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty set up to play in this game. Not quite sure if he's going to be able to take advantage because the Saints cornerbacks are really good. So. I'm not looking at. I mean, for me to roster him, it would have to be kind of like I'm looking at an upside game, and I don't see this being an upside game. I mean, yes, he can.
Reverse said that. You said the Saints cornerbacks are good. I'm sure nobody has
throw at him.
Wow.
Yes, wow. That opened my eyes when I saw that. So.
What I can look at that, man, give me some LaShawn McCoy. I like him.
Oh yeah, LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, you got to get him. He's set up for a good one.
Coming off a 2-point performance, I think I'm not saying nobody's gonna play him, but I don't think he is gonna be as highly owned if he scored 18 points last week. So I'm definitely gonna have a fair share of LaShawn McCoy. He is in my top 5 running backs on the slate. The next game we got is gonna be the Green Bay Packers and your Chicago Bears. This is the lowest total on the board this week at 37.5. We've got the Green Bay Packers are a road dog, man. They're getting 4.5 in this spot. What do you think about your homie Mitchell Trubisky, priced at 4.5? Jordan Howard is a guy that I've heard a lot of rumblings about. Somebody who I kind of like this week. Give me your take on what your Bears can do at the crib against the Green Bay Packers.
Well. First of all, the Bears, as you can see, they've been playing pretty strong defensively. And since Rodgers went down, Green Bay just has not been able to get much going. And I think that once again, they're going to have a problem this week if they try to do much. I really see this as being. I mean, that total is kind of low for a reason, and I really don't see Green Bay being able to do much. I mean, from what Hundley's been doing, he hasn't been throwing deep. and that's where the Bears, you can get the Bears a little bit at. He hasn't been throwing deep. Everything has been short. I mean, he's been passing a little bit, but everything has been short. The Bears have a strong interior defense with Hicks and Goldman. So, as far as the running game, Aaron Jones has looked really good. His first, not last week, but because they didn't give him the ball much, but he had looked good previous to that. It's going to be tough for Green Bay to really get much going in this game. And the Bears, I don't know. I mean, Trubisky really hasn't shown me much. I mean, he's been throwing a little bit over the middle, which has been good in a couple of spots, but I just don't see enough from him to warrant me even picking him. But I do like Howard in this game. Obviously, Howard is a guy that you can look for to run the ball. He's going to get at least 25 carries, and they're gonna move the ball a little bit, I believe. So I just don't see a lot of scoring in this game. Probably something like a 20-14, 20-17 game, because neither of these quarterbacks haven't really shown much, and I'm not willing. I wouldn't risk it personally. In this spot. So
what RotoQL is telling us here is the statistics are saying that the Bears allow an average of 14 points per game to quarterbacks. That's very good. That's like one of the better teams against quarterbacks in the league. You got Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and then Chicago, and giving up points to quarterbacks. And that's not because you can run the ball all over the Chicago Bears either. So for me, all the stars are aligning because number one, I've got a low total. I like that. I like the fact that Vegas thinks that this game is not going to be very high scoring. I like that. I've got a low total. Number two, there's a running back, a feature back that's probably going to get 20 touches that I do like and trust in Jordan Howard. Then add to that, we've got a defense because I like to pair my running back with the defense. So So give me Jordan Howard, give me the Bears D at 3K on DraftKings, and I'm pretty much set in those two spots. So won't have much to do with Mitchell Trubisky, won't have much to do with Brett Hundley, and that kind of does kill a lot of the passing options on the Green Bay side. For me, when the homie went out, that kind of killed it. Because Trubisky's like his favorite target was the tight end, and when he went out, because he's gone for the season, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So that would kind of curb my enthusiasm in terms of getting a lot of Chicago guys. You give me Jordan Howard, give me the Bears defense, and I'm done. That's all I need. So let's go ahead and Lonzo Ball becomes the youngest player in NBA history to get a triple-double. Ooh, triple-double for Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I had him in one lineup tonight, so I will say that.
Dang, triple-double.
Got something right.
Good Lord. Oh, man. That was nice. Yo, my FanDuel lines suck, bro. Let's take a look at them really quick. They are horrible, man. This has been a bad night for me. The only good thing is I didn't lose anything on DK because I couldn't play. But well, it's not over. It's not over. It's not. I'm still on the brim, baby. I still get in there. Yeah,
you might get in there. Yeah,
I'm right there. Next game we got is going to be the Cleveland Browns going to Detroit to take on the Lions. The Iceman has gone out on a limb and already spilled the tea, giving you the news. He said out his own mouth that Matthew Stafford was his favorite quarterback play on the slate. I don't want to tell you that I agree with him because I don't want to give you everything, but I'm an honest man. I absolutely love Matt Stafford this week. You give me that Cleveland Browns defense away from Cleveland. You give me Matt Stafford in a dome with no real running game, two solid pass catching options in Golden Tate and Marvin Jones, and I think it's a recipe for a 30-point game from Stafford and at least a 20-point game and a high teens game for his receivers. What do you think about this one?
Oh yeah, and I'm right there. Really, Cleveland, they're going to struggle this game. I think. I'm looking at as we said, Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones. I mean, this game really sets up for Marvin Jones to be have a really good game. I mean, Cleveland is really susceptible to deep right passes. And that's where Jones has been going to get a lot of his throws. So really, a lot of success in that area. So I would be shocked basically if Marvin Jones didn't score a touchdown here. Golden Tate should rack up a lot of yards. And like I said, I just hope that that they realize that they have to throw the ball. Don't try to make Amir Abdullah get out of his struggles with the running game. You just gotta go ahead and pass the ball, be a pass heavy offense. Hopefully they can do that. Cleveland. I mean, Deshaun Kaiser starting. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, you look at what they do. They really don't do much well. And Detroit is a decent defense, especially at home here. So I'm really looking at them. I mean, Cleveland might end up only scoring maybe 12 points here, no more than 14. But yeah, Cleveland. I mean, if you want to get cute, maybe you might think Duke Johnson might get in. He might. The research kind of showed up as him kind of being in a decent spot, but this is not a good play. Anybody here from Cleveland? I mean, I guess if somebody gets hurt or something, maybe Lewis could do something. But yeah, this game is set up for Detroit just to basically blow them out. So
and what that brings to task is if we feel this badly about the Cleveland Browns defense, and this is a two-part question I'm going to pose to you. First and foremost, can we play the Lions defense at 3.8? Can we pay up for that? And then secondly, if we're going to pay for the Lions defense, does that mean that the Detroit Lions offense are going to be a quick strike offense, or can we play a running back from this game? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I see the what you're going for there for the correlation. I mean, just basically, from what I've seen from Cleveland, I mean, even though Detroit doesn't have a running game, they're going to run it a little bit, but so hopefully they'll get up by so much, and then because normally when you see these blowout games, it normally means the quarterback has kind of done well anyway. And like I said, I can't see them getting up without. Depending on the running game. Although, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Abdullah kind of turns it around here and gets in for a touchdown. So I would think about him. I mean, I wouldn't be totally against putting him in there, but just with his fumbling issues, I'm just kind of weary about what they're going to do with their offense. So so yeah, I mean, pairing the running back with the defense, because I actually do have and one of my lineups already made. Actually do have the defense without the running back. So
right.
I'm just going to have to go for the quarterback wide receiver correlation with the defense. So I mean, I know that doesn't normally that's not what we normally do in DFS, but that's what I ended up doing. So
it could work. And one thing I don't want you to forget that Eric Ebron at 3.1, very very cheaply priced, very solidly priced actually. And the Cleveland Brown team, man, they are like one of the worst teams in the league against tight ends. So keep that into consideration as well. If you didn't like Jones' matchup or you didn't like Golden Tate's matchup, but you wanted to get a little bit more exposure, you could play, Stafford, one of the wide receivers, and Eric Ebron and still be in good standing. So next game we got is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. We've got a 45-point total here. With the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, being a 10-point road favorite. Jacoby Brissett at 5.2, making his next start of the season. You've got Ben Roethlisberger, who has kind of been, has been disappointing a lot. And then you take that the whole Ben Roethlisberger away from the crib is not a very good thing. You got Le'Veon Bell priced at 9.8, who's in a prime spot to really break some stuff up. You look at the slate in its totality and how everyone is just talking about paying down for running back. Can you get Le'Veon Bell at 9.8 in a complete smash spot and it pan out for you? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm not paying down. I mean, I have Bell. I mean, this is a great matchup for the whole team, for all the usual suspects. I mean, you look at how this lines up. Indianapolis just gives up a lot of success to the spots where Pittsburgh likes to throw deep middle passes, short middle. So Juju Smith, Antonio Brown, Bell, all these guys are in play. Even Big Ben is in play. So I mean this matchup here is really prime, just a really prime spot for them to score at least 30 plus. In Indianapolis, I mean they can do a little bit here. I don't expect them to win, but Ty Hilton obviously is always in play at home, and looks like he's in a good spot as well with some of the things that he can do in the spots that they throw it to him at. And Doyle as well is another one I would look at. I can very easily see maybe these two guys or either one of them scoring here. But yeah, Pittsburgh really should do really well here in this spot. I don't know how big of a blowout it's going to be, but they should win very comfortably.
All right. So you heard it from the Iceman. A Pittsburgh stack is on deck for the day, with a little correlation with the homie T.Y. Hilton, man, who is always a threat to hit a big home run. So the next game we got is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags, man, at the crib, pretty solid defensively all season long. We got Phillip Rivers priced at 4.9. What? Phillip Rivers priced at 4.9. That is insanity. That the guy that good, even though he's not been playing awesome, is that cheap. And the Jacksonville defense has been playing very well all season long. We've got Fournette at 8.4. He should be back, ready to roll, good to go. Melvin Gordon, who I also like here, priced at 7.2. What are some quick hits that you can give us about this game, guys, that you like?
Yeah, well, Gordon is in a great spot here. I mean, actually, I have him as one of the top options for running backs. So he, this is set up for him to do really well. The Chargers, they're just so weird. I mean, they're making another trip across the country, and they just been kind of weird. You just don't know what you're going to get from them, especially. You don't want to come in here trying to be a pass-heavy team against Jacksonville, because, as you know, they have a really strong pass defense, and they can actually get after the quarterback a little bit too. So, the Chargers are going to have their work cut out for them in this game. But Melvin Gordon is definitely somebody I'm looking at, as well as Hunter Henry. He's looking like a guy that can set up really well against what Jacksonville tries to do. He's set up to have a score if they get close enough. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of guys here, but I just couldn't pick Rivers here, because it's just, to me, it's just not an optimal spot. I just don't see much upside. I mean, he could maybe throw a touchdown or two. He can get picked off a couple of times. Maybe even a pick six. But yeah, I mean, Gordon. I think Gordon to do. They should really just try to feature Gordon this game and maybe throw to Hunter Henry. So I'm looking for big games from both of them. But on the other side, you got Leonard Fournette. He's a great running back, and he really should be able to handle what the Chargers throw at him. As far as Blake Bortles go, I can't trust them. I mean, the Chargers don't have a bad pass defense. They're actually probably above average, but in no way I could trust them to put up anything meaningful to do anything with in a cash game or tournament. So I would just definitely kind of stay away from him. But Fournette definitely, and the Jaguars defense are probably decent plays here.
Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next game. We've got the New York Jets and the Tampa Bay Bucks. The overwhelming chalk this week on DraftKings specifically is going to be Bilal Powell. He's looking to get 72% of the snap shares, and that's 72% of the snaps. They're looking to play him. 4K is the price point. This is the 30th ranked defense versus the running back position here. You got to be locking in Powell. Come on, you got to be.
You think so?
Yes.
He's a lock. Yeah. Oh yeah. That price is good. That price is good. Definitely. He's gonna get a lot of carries. Definitely. Yeah. And this Tampa Bay defense is, as we know, is not very good. They give it up both heavily on the pass. So, but although they are getting the key cornerback back for this game, Brent Grimes, but it's not gonna do enough to kind of slow down. Kind of what the Jets would do. I wouldn't be surprised if McCown throws a pick or two, but they still should do fairly well. I'm really looking at Robbie Anderson to have a good game. I mean, he sets up really well, and perhaps even Jermaine Coarse. He might do well in this game also. So, and really Austin Seferian-Jenkins, he's really set up for a good one. So, and from what I saw, so yeah, I mean the Jets should have plenty of yards here. Tampa Bay, hopefully, I guess for them, they hope to maybe keep them down from scoring, but the Jets are going to rack up some yards definitely here. A lot of people playing Fitzpatrick. I'm not quite sure if he deserves to be chalk, because actually this isn't the best matchup for him. But I mean, he's cheap, and a lot of people see that. I mean, it's maybe an easier than average matchup for him. But I mean, I just think there's other options that you can go for instead of him. But yeah, really, Deshaun Jackson though, he's really somebody I'm looking at. Deshaun Jackson and even Humphreys as well as Brate. So those guys might be able to get. I mean, one of those guys I think is going to score a touchdown. But Fitzpatrick, I mean, 4,900 on DraftKings, that's not too bad. He's pretty cheap on FanDuel too. So. Actually, I think I would go roll with him. I kind of talked myself into it just then.
hey, listen, sometimes you got to talk yourself into a play. Sometimes,
right.
That's what I did. I sat back, I let you discuss it with yourself, and you talked both. Right, Fitzmagic, baby. Fitzmagic is in play.
Yeah. So definitely, I would look at him. And Martin should be somebody we're looking at too.
Oh yes, Doug Martin priced at 4.7. That is like super cheap, bro. Those are two stacks that I kind of like actually. Looking at Ryan Fitzpatrick as well as Josh McCown, those are two stacks that I'm gonna have some consideration with.
Yeah, man, this game actually might go. It might go over that total, man. Really, I mean, this game. I mean, I could see both offenses scoring in the mid-20s.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all right, let's move on. Next game we got is gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. It's a 5.5 differential here, with the Tennessee Titans being the home favorite. We got a 40.5 point total here. AJ Green coming off one of the worst performances I've ever seen a top flight receiver. Now, he took so many L's that day. He knows it, and I think he comes out and he's firing on all cylinders. I not only can get behind Andy Dalton here at 5.3. But I can definitely get behind some AJ Green. I don't absolutely love Joe Mixon, but he's so cheaply priced that he does, give you kind of a cause for consideration. But I think if I was gonna attack Tennessee in a spot, I would pair Dalton and AJ Green. Set it, forget it, leave it right there. You look at the Tennessee Titans here. DeMarco Murray, he's been nicked up off and on, man, and he's projected to get 57% of the snaps. But they're not giving Derrick Henry enough touches. They're both 5K. This is one of the most confusing running back situations that we have on the slate. And for that reason, man, I think both of those guys, for me, are going to be untouchable. What do you think about this game? And how can you rock this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at this game. This is a funny game here. Cincinnati has really faced some tough competition, so that might have. That might scare off some people. But like you said, I mean, AJ Green, I mean, he had a bad performance last week. I'm really looking for him to bounce back here. I'm not quite sure about trusting Joe Mixon here enough, but I think he might be able to do something. But I'm really looking at AJ Green here to have a good game. The Titans' pass defense is just really suspect. So. Andy Dalton is not really an upside quarterback, but, he's one that you can safely say, okay, we're going to get, like they project him for 15. I can definitely see that. I don't see him going too much over that, but, I mean, it's possible. But A.J. Green definitely set up really well here. As far as what Tennessee is going to do, that's a bit of a question mark because Cincinnati's defense is really, really tough. They don't allow many scores. So how the Titans are going to score? I mean, Mariota, he's kind of still working his way back in, trying to get back to where he was last year. And Cincinnati's defense, like I said, is they don't allow many scores. That you can move the ball a little bit on them, but I really don't know where to go on this Tennessee team. So I don't know who I would really look at. Maybe the kicker for FanDuel. So Ryan Suckup. So that's who I would look at. So,
and honestly, and when you look at this game, and you speak to the uncertainty that you have with the Tennessee Titans. The differential being 5.5 in their favor is scaring me. But initially, when I first saw this game, I was like, yo, I kind of like the Bengals defense. Because I always try to search for that cheap-ass DraftKings defense that can, get me double-digit fantasy points. And I saw them priced at 2.5, and I liked it. I kind of like it. I'm a little bit scared now, and I see the point total and the differential. But what do you think about the Bengals defense and how well they've been able to play so far this season?
Oh, yeah, like I said, the Bengals defense, I mean, they haven't. I mean, if you look at how they've been allowing, scoring, not many touchdowns, a lot of field goals, and that's why I said Ryan Suckup. But they allow a little bit of yardage, but it's like they just do enough just to stop you from scoring, and especially on FanDuel, you need touchdowns, So maybe on DraftKings, I know you get those bonuses if you go over 100 yards. So that yardage could probably help you here with a couple of these guys, but. I just don't see where the touchdowns are going to come from. I mean, when my research just didn't see enough to pop up to really trust too many of these guys. So, I mean, Tennessee is going to score some points. I don't think they're going to hit their projected score, but I just don't know where it's going to come from, and I don't. For me, it's a fade.
Yo, and speaking of your research, the Iceman does some specialty work Saturdays. Inside of the VIP, man. Yo, you had a nice show going on in there today, like an hour long.
Yeah.
Chock full of good information, man. Just want to say thank you. I appreciate you for doing that, man. And if you want to check it out, man, come get with us, man. www.dfssweatshop.com. That's how you get in there, man. Next game we got is going to be the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Redskins. 41.5 point total. We got the Skins, man, only getting 1.5 at the crib. They are a home dog, and there's not a fight in home dogs. But the Minnesota Vikings, man, one of the better defenses in the league versus that quarterback position. Like Kirk Cousins at 5.9, man. And I've been trying to hit on these Washington receivers all year long, and it just has not come to fruition, man. I think like the best game I got from any of them was like some cheap Josh Doxson on a 2-game slate. Like I can't,
yeah,
I can't like predict these guys. I cannot play these cats correctly. What do you see being in store for the Washington Redskins here at the crib? And Case Keenum at 4.8. That does interest me as well. Take us through this game. What do you think about this one?
Boy, it's a tough matchup for the Redskins. I mean, obviously Minnesota's on the road, so they're not as strong on the road as they are at home defensively. But boy. It's going to be a tough one. They're really going to have to come with everything they have. The Redskins O-line is a patchwork right now. They're just really banged up in all kind of areas. It's going to be tough for them to win, to be honest with you. For them to pull something out here, and they're a home dog for a reason. I mean, they're only a dog by 1.5 points. But I'm thinking it should be more, and it's probably not more just because of Minnesota's, uncertainty as far as their offense a little bit. But I mean, this is a tough matchup as well for Minnesota. I mean, if you look at this matchup, Washington has been pretty good against the pass, and fairly stout against the run as well. So, but I still would definitely look at Jerick McKinnon. His volume is going to be enough to compensate for that. But I know you marked Case Keenum. I'm not quite sure about him in this spot. I would be a little bit wary of him, but I'm sure Stephon Diggs is going to get a lot of targets, and Adam Thielen as well. So I would definitely look at those guys. I know you got Kyle Rudolph there. If they get close enough, he definitely can get a touchdown in the end zone. But Washington has their work cut out for him. Kirk Cousins, he's a decent quarterback, but with these guys, I mean, Terrell Pryor just never showed up this year. Like you said, you can't really get these receivers right. He's really spreading the ball around too, even when he does. So maybe right. Chris Thompson is always, kind of due for a touchdown run of some sort, even though he doesn't run the ball. And Vernon Davis as well. They like to get him involved. So. it's going to be tough for him. It really is. And for me, I don't see enough upside to really warrant me, having any of these guys in my lineup personally. But if you want to take a look at like I said, Chris Thompson probably for me, and these receivers, I just don't know who's going to get the ball. So that's the uncertainty of that. So.
Well, cool, man. Because for me, Case Keenum is a guy that I am going to have some exposure to. I kind of like Keenum in this spot.
Okay.
And what does it for me is these are some of the most sure-handed guys at all the skill positions. If you look at Jarrett McKinnon, who is always a major threat out of the backfield. You've got Thielen, Diggs, Kyle Rudolph. There's a red zone threat. I kind of like it, man. I like it. And then the only problem is I think people are going to be pressed to play a lot of the Vikings defense, and I get it. It makes sense. But I do have respect for my NFC East foe, man, the Washington Redskins. Kirk Cousins is a guy that can go out and maybe put up some points. So I'm not so geeked to play the Vikings defense at 3.1 when there's another one at 3K that I like. That's in a better spot in my opinion. So I'm gonna have some exposure to some of the Minnesota Vikings on offense, and I do like that 41-point total with the Vikings projected to score 21. So that's a pretty sound total there for me. Next game we got is going to be the Houston Texans and Los Angeles Rams. Tom Savage is at quarterback. Does that mean just fire up the Rams D? They've also got Todd Gurley, but this has been a very good team against running backs. Talking about the Houston Texans. Also, this has been a very bad team against running backs. Talking about the Rams defense. So Lamar Miller here is at 5.2. What do you think about this one, man? How does this turn for you?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the Rams defense, like you said, you fire them up because they're one of my top plays here. The Rams defense. Tom Savage is just bad. He'll probably throw another pick six. So it's just that's how it goes. I mean, and like you said, I mean the Rams defense is just Aaron Donald. He's going to get a couple of sacks. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I mean, yeah, Lamar Miller, I would definitely take a look at him. He'll probably be able to do a little something. I mean, this isn't the best matchup for him, but especially on the pass side. I mean, Tom Savage. I mean, if you look at what the Rams do, they're one of the top defenses against the pass in the past month. So I would definitely not try it there, but. So their game plan better feature Lamar Miller because they're not going to get much done through the air. So, but on the other side, I mean, look, this Rams offense is really just flying high right now. That projected score, I could see them going over that. I definitely have a Ram stack in my inventory of picks this week of teams rather. So yeah, all those guys you marked there, I would be cool with all of them. Even Cooper Kupp. I mean, and that was one of the games we were talking about in the sweatshop when I was going over the matchups. All these guys here. I mean, the Texans are susceptible to short passes, and a lot of these guys are doing a lot of damage with short passes. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Sammy Watkins can break one deep as well. So. In the event that they do try to push it down the field, because it looks like they don't take as many deep shots down the field, but they I guess when they do them, it's at the right time and they can catch a defense off guard, and Watkins is definitely one that can do that. So Jared Goff is going to have, I would say he should have a good game, and he's definitely one of my quarterback stacks this week.
Wonderful. Next game we got is going to be the Dallas Cowboys going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. You got Dak Prescott at 7.3. You got Matt Ryan, 6.5. Kind of like both of those guys here, so I'm going to be highlighting them. Anytime I like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, 8K, he's in play for me most definitely. I've got Devontae Freeman is now 6K for Devontae Freeman, man.
That is super cheap, man.
That is so cheap.
And this is a great matchup for him, man. Really, it is.
So and that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, possibly a really nice Falcon stack here, and then probably because you look at the Cowboys here, you got Alfred Morris is probably gonna be getting most of the carries, at running back at 5.5, where I think that is in play as well. And we've got Des Bryant, who is questionable, so that kind of makes way for Cole Beasley if Bryant can't go. Do you play Bryant if he does play? I don't play him if he plays. I won't.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But Terrence Williams, man, from what I've seen, Terrence Williams might be somebody he can get loose in this game. Really, the spots where Atlanta's weak at, he excels in those areas. So I'm looking at Terrence Williams, man, to have a really nice game, and especially if Dez doesn't play. I hope they don't move him to another spot, but I'm pretty sure they won't. They'll probably keep him where he's at. So, but yeah, I mean, this game really sets up well for Terrence Williams and even Jason Witten if they decide to throw to him. So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Julio Jones, he should really have a monster game here. Mohamed Sanu even, and Devontae Freeman, even Coleman, and he can do well this game. So. This is going to be a fun game to watch. This is going to be. I think that over and under total is going to live up to that. If it doesn't go over, it'll definitely get near it. So, both offenses should do enough to be, I think, in some winning lineups.
Now, I had a quick question for the chat. It says we're worried about Dez injury, but not Julio's.
He has an ankle. Yeah.
Yeah, it says he returned to practice Friday and will play in Sunday's game against the Cowboys. Despite missing practice Wednesday and Thursday and only logging a limited session Friday, the star wideout doesn't have any injury designation for Sunday's game. Falcons coach Dan Quinn said Jones looked explosive at Friday's practice, perhaps hinting that he could log a full practice if the team needed to. So he's good.
Yeah. I mean, and even though he has an ankle, I mean, normally ankles will kind of limit a little production there. But the when you look at how the Cowboys have been against the pass, it just really kind of sets up for Julio still to have a good week.
Right.
Because the fact that he practiced on Friday kind of tells you right there that he's going to play. And now, if he didn't practice on Friday and he all of a sudden was like limited on Saturday and they say, "Oh, I'm going to play," yeah, then you might be worried. But I think you can go ahead and fire him up without any kind of reservations.
Wonderful. Next game we got, and probably the worst game I will ever watch. The most horrible thing to ever happen to me is going to be my New York Football Giants going to San Francisco. Please just lose the game. Let's get some good draft. Let's get a good draft.
They got to save McAdoo's job, man. They got to save his job.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Let's get Saquon Barkley and start and blow this shit up and start all over again. So we got Eli Manning here, 29th DVP is what he's going to be facing. You've got Eli at 5.1, who in my opinion in this spot is playable. Orleans Darkwa at 4.5 against the worst running back defense in the league. It's got to be playable. Sterling Shepard, the only guy that's even worse, worth talking about. They've got him slated to get 100% of the snaps at wide receiver. So 5.5 for him. You got Evan Ingram, who is priced at 6.2. I think that's a little bit high in price, but he's one of the we cut another tight end today. So this is like one of the worst spots to play a tight end because San Francisco does not give it up that much to tight ends, and then he's priced at 6.2. On the other side, we got Beathard, who I kind of like at 3.1. He does have rushing ability in this spot. You pretty much can stream who you wanted to against the Giants over the last 6 weeks and able to come out pretty much on top. So my problem is outside of Marquise Goodwin at 3.8 and maybe Kittle, who is out. Kittle is out, right?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
See, I'm not playing Garrett Selleck. I don't want to play. I know the Giants are the worst team in the league against tight ends, and I've just been playing a tight end against them every week. But do I want to play Garrett Selleck? Do I want to play Garrett Selleck?
Yeah, that'd be tough, man. That'd be tough.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, you hit the nail on the head here. I mean, Eli Manning and Beathard are in really good spots here. I mean, over the past month, both of these teams are really just allowing quarterbacks to get off on them. So, it's just, and Carlos Hyde even, I would definitely look at him as well. But the story here is like which receiver are you going to use for San Francisco? So yeah, they should do well, but which receiver, pick which one. I don't know. I mean, it's that's the problem, So while Beathard is a good play, but it's like who do you want to pair him up with? Goodwin, yeah, he's been doing a little something, but from what I've seen, it's just really a question mark. So and then now you got Selleck being involved, who I expect to really I expect him to do okay if they get close enough. But I know you don't want to mark them, but I would take a look at them. But yeah, Evan Ingram. I mean, obviously this guy is going to get all the targets that he can ask for as long as he's open and somewhat open. Sterling Shepard, I'd be looking at. You got him marked already, so that's good. Orleans Darkwa, he can do well this game. As we can see, San Francisco just allows runner after runner to get over 100 yards every week. So that's definitely up for the offense. So yeah, you got it here. I mean, this might be a low key a high scoring game. I mean, only thing that could stop them maybe is the fact that San Francisco just they may not get the receiving help that they need to take advantage of this Giants defense. But yeah, I mean the Giants, this might be a game that they can win. I'm actually looking forward to them winning. So,
well, I hope not, because I'm ready to go down with this shit, man.
I know.
Let's pack it in and get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what we did, man, we went ahead, went through, laced our player pool. Now we're gonna close it. We're gonna shut the shop down. We're gonna roll over to the Facebook VIP, where we will be constructing a few lines, man, looking at stuff that we can use and take with us going into tomorrow's slate. So if you want to be a part of that, man, hurry up really quick. Go to the website, www.dfsredshop.com. That's where we will be. So, from your big homie, the DFS Jerusalem, and also the homie Iceman, we much love to y'all, man. Have a very profitable Sunday, and we'll catch you next week. Iceman.
Yeah, what's up?
You gonna show him some love?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you waiting on me? I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys have a good Sunday. Hopefully, let's get back on track here. Hopefully you guys do well. And I'm hoping to do well too. We got a lot of good information here, and we're about to go in here and build some lineups. So yeah, good luck to you guys.
Yo, Lonzo Ball went monkey nuts.
Oh man, like yeah, I'm looking at that now, man. He has 69 FanDuel points.
This is crazy, bro.
I just wish I had him in the lineup that I got my highest score. So
oh my god,
I could have really used him in that lineup, man. Right, look, him and Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague has 26 fantasy points at the same price as him, and if I would have had him, I'd be in first place.
Oh my goodness, bro! Like
but hey, that's what happens,
That's how I be happening, man. So
yeah,
let's get up out of here, man. Meet me in the VIP. Let's pow wow. We are out. Peace. Keep it 300.
Later. All right.